Hey everybody, welcome back. And just a couple of nights ago, we had the local FSDO and some tower controllers here in the hangar, and we had some fun discussions and some interesting talks. I like to call them wingtips. And we're gonna share those with you. There's about 4 of them. And it's common trends, some issues that are going on between air traffic control and pilots. In some cases, newer pilots and students, but there's also some very controversial topics that we're gonna talk about and share with you. So even if you're not a new pilot, I'm looking forward to getting your input on these topics here. Now, we just finished a long day of filming and flying. We just did a filming on which is faster, the Cybertruck or the Game Bird. Go check that out. Like and subscribe, because if it hasn't come out yet, you'll get notified when we put that out there. But go ahead and like and subscribe anyway, and go check those videos out. So this is a really fun day. You'll find that video interesting. But we're gonna go ahead and dive in. So let's get started. Hey everybody, welcome back. So we're going to share about 4 topics with you today, and these are things that ATC shared with us on current issues or trends. Now, a couple of these topics are probably for newer pilots or maybe even student pilots, and a couple of these topics are actually really kind of controversial that we're going to talk about that is definitely more for senior pilots, but of course everybody can learn from this. So we're going to spend about 10 minutes and we're going to talk about them. The first one I want to share with you guys, and this is probably more for younger student pilots, is when you're in the pattern in ATC is telling you to extend downwind, and then they're going to call your base. And when they call your base, what to do. So here's typically what you'll hear. If you get into the traffic pattern on a tower controlled airport, sometimes you're going to hear extend downwind and I'll call your base. You get that a lot. So we got a couple of airplanes here that are on final coming into runway 9, and you're extending downwind, and then the tower calls your base. So 123 Alpha Bravo, turn base. So you turn base. The issue that they're telling me that's happening a lot, this is one of their top #1 pet peeves, and it's a big trend, is people are expecting the tower controller to call your final. Look, if you're in the pattern already, if they tell you enter midfield, left downwind for runway 9, and then they say extend downwind, I'll call your base. If they call your base here, 123 Alpha Bravo, turn base. When you get here, turn on your final. You're in the pattern. So they're expecting that you're going to turn your final after your base. So keep that in mind, because a lot of pilots, like I just said, are just flying through the base, expecting the tower to call them back again. So that's #1, a big pet peeve they're having. Another one that's kind of happening, and it's not a huge issue, but they are seeing it, is, let's actually put this out here. This is going to be a Learjet out here, and we got a Cessna 172 here. Same type of situation. Now this situation is they'll tell you 123 Alpha Bravo, extend downwind, I'll call your base. Now when you're getting in your downwind, a lot of times what they'll do is they'll say 123 Alpha Bravo, you'll be following traffic at your 11 o'clock Learjet on a 3-mile final. That did not give you clearance to turn your leg. What they are seeing a lot of times, and I'm going to talk about a couple of ways you might hear this, but they'll tell you extend downwind, and they're either going to tell you look for traffic that's on final, look for the Learjet, expect that you'll be behind the Learjet, or expect a turn behind traffic at your 11 o'clock. All those are not clearance to make the turn. What's happening is some pilots are saying, okay, Learjet's in sight. Now the tower hasn't told you to make the turn, and then they're making a turn around them and getting back in. They haven't cleared for that turn. They didn't clear you for that base leg yet. Then you might hear something like, 123 Alpha Bravo, you're going to be following a Learjet on your 11 o'clock, report traffic in sight. Okay, 1234 Alpha Bravo, traffic's in sight. Cleared behind that traffic, you're #3 cleared to land. Okay, so now you have clearance to do that. Or they might say when that Learjet or when that traffic at your 11 o'clock is a beam, turn your base. You're going to get additional clearances to make that turn. Keep that in mind. So whenever you're on that extended downward, listen for that. If they didn't give you clearance, didn't clear you for land, didn't tell you to make the turn, don't make that turn. Just because they said to you, look for the traffic, you'll be expecting behind the traffic, don't make that turn. So that's another one that they talked about. Now, those are a couple of basic ones. Now again, this isn't meant to be an educational video. I'm not trying to teach you the FARs and stuff here or even ICAO processes and stuff, but this is more to talk to your instructor about, maybe talk to your friends at the airport, have a discussion with, talk about these a little bit more. So those are the first couple ones I wanted to show you. Let's go on to the next one. This one is kind of a controversial topic, and I can't find anything in ICAO processes or in the AIM or in the FARs. I've talked to even the tower controllers here. There are definitely some opinions. Now, tower controllers have told me what they're expecting, and pilots have told me what they're used to doing and expect. And what it has to do with is if you get handed off from approach control, so you're IFR, you're on approach, approach clears you for turn 210, you're 5 from final approach picks, cleared for approach to runway 9. Now you read that back, and then you're going to get on your ILS or your approach into the airport. When you get handed off to tower, they'll say, contact tower 127.9. Now you contact tower. Here's where the controversy comes in. And I'm hearing all over the place, so I'm hoping all you guys are going to pipe in down below. Hopefully some controllers are piping down below. Most controllers at most busy airports are expecting that you're going to check in exec tower 123 Alpha Bravo. Done. That's what some of the tower controllers. That's not what I do. I'm going to share what I do. And I ask the tower controllers, that's it? Because when I check in, I typically say, exec tower 123 Alpha Bravo, I'm 4 miles from final approach fix, runway 9. That's what I do. Sometimes I get my altitude in there. Now they're telling me, I already know you're here. I accepted your handoff. I know who you are. I have more information in front of me about you than you probably know I have. So I don't need a dissertation every single time you get handed off when you've already been cleared from approach control over to tower. I'm already expecting you. I know where you are. I know what's going on. Now, some tower controllers, if you just check in with your call sign, might try to be cute and say, yeah, what do you want? What do you need? You're not getting that too often. I think it's becoming more and more common that tower controllers know that you should just be checking in with your call sign. Done. They know everything about you. So that's kind of a controversy going on. Keep that in mind. And it's kind of also at some of the airports, when I get handed off from ground to tower, I'm taxiing to the active runway. I get handed off from ground, I change over to tower. Most of the time, the tower controllers here say, don't check in. I know where you are. You're right here in front of me. You're on your strip. I know what number you are. I know you're number 2. You don't have to call in and say, I'm number 3 in sequence or ready to go. Or some of these tower controllers basically just say, I already know. You get handed from ground to tower. Now, obviously, we're talking about busy airports here where you have a clearance delivery, ground controller, you have tower controller. So same type of thing. So I want to share that with you, but I want to share because I'm hoping you guys all pipe in here. We're going to actually do some Zooms and some webinars with some of the tower controllers, and we're going to talk about this conversation and stuff. Again, there's nothing in ICAO about this that says you can't just check in with your call sign when you're on approach. JFK, they're up and down. Some of the tower controllers at JFK, they try to be cute and say, you didn't tell me what you're doing, what you want. They know what you're doing. And then some say, I don't need a dissertation. I already know what you're doing. So it's kind of all over the place. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And hopefully you'll discuss it either with your instructor or your friends or your local tower controllers and talk about that. So pipe in down below. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, so let's hit the last one. This is kind of more a little bit of a bonus thing. And this isn't what the tower controllers and stuff had told me, but this one I'm actually seeing a lot. I'm seeing it happen with people I'm flying with. So I want to go ahead and share it with you. Again, this is for younger students out there, and maybe some of the newer pilots might learn from this. And there's a few things going on here. It's going to have to do with ATIS. It's going to have to do with crossing runway operations, 2 runway operations. It's also going to have to do with your landing lights, runway lights. So there's a few things I kind of want to talk about here, and they all kind of fit into a couple of experiences that I have had. The first one's really about ATIS, and I'm seeing some of the younger pilots that I'm flying with and things that they're really just getting the first few pieces of ATIS that they think they need. An example is I just was flying with a young girl that was left seating in the Bonanza. She went over to the ATIS and basically got, Romeo, wind 210 at 10 knots, landing and departing runway 9, chick. She changed it back over to tower. She didn't hear the rest of the ATIS. She didn't listen to the rest of the ATIS. Now, I know all of us that have been flying a lot, the rest of that ATIS is really important. It creates a situational awareness for us, a better situational awareness. What she would have heard is landing runway 9 and 31 with hold short operations going on. And she didn't hear that piece. Called into tower with the ATIS. So we were on approach to runway 31, and they were also having aircraft take off on runway 9, and we were cleared to land on 31. So as we're landing on 31, because she didn't have true situational awareness, number one, she didn't wasn't looking at runway 9, or at least glancing over there as we're on approach, because you've got aircraft here. Now, I actually heard him tell an aircraft to line up and wait, traffic on crossing runway, mile final, which was us. And then not too short later, we're half mile final, he told them cleared for takeoff, and they started to roll. We're now half mile final. I watched the whole situation because I did have my situational awareness going on here. She still hasn't looked at that runway, and she's still hyper-focused on the panel end to land on 3-1. So I said to her about a half mile final out, I said, are we cleared to land? And she says, yes. I said, there's an aircraft on the other runway that was also cleared to land. She said, but we also got clearance to land. I said, well, you don't have clearance into somebody else's aircraft. So I keyed up the mic and said, Tower 123 Alpha Bravo, verify clear to land. Again, don't be afraid to call Tower to verify something. He immediately said, 123 Alpha Bravo, go around. And then this guy was already rolling and down here. Now, she didn't pick up on that because her situational awareness was not where it should have been. She wasn't listening to Tower tell this guy to take off. She didn't know they were doing 2 runway operations. So that, to me, is just an issue. I'm hearing more and more people I fly with, they just get the identifier, what runway, wind, and altimeter, and then they're switching over and not listening to everything else, like taxiways that are closed and things. That's one tip for younger pilots. Now, the other thing I'm seeing a lot, and this is even for senior pilots, pilots been flying for years. When do you turn your landing lights on? I have pilots that I'm seeing now that they're telling us 123 Alpha Bravo, line up and wait. So he enters the runway, puts his landing lights on, and he's sitting here without a clearance to land with the landing lights on. Now, how I've been taught, until you get clearance to take off, your landing lights don't come on. If I'm crossing a runway on a taxi because I've been cleared to cross, check left, right, landing lights on because I've been cleared to cross. My intention is to cross that runway. Then on the other side, my lights come off. Obviously on landing, landing lights are on. Why is this important? Just think of that whole situation we just talked about. If we're landing and this person does what we should be doing, which is if I'm cleared to land, I've put my landing lights on. I'm signaling, and my intention right now is I'm cleared to take off. I'm rolling, I'm going. I can look over there and I can see his landing lights are on, and I know there's something else going on. The other thing is somebody up in tower, if they haven't cleared them to take off yet, and they look down there and their landing lights are on, that could be an indication to tower to watch him because he might be rolling because he just put his landing lights on. That's just another thing that I thought I'd talk about. So you kind of got 3 things going on here in a situation. Now, I did see it. We were half a mile final. Tower cleared him to take off. As soon as he did, his landing lights came on. I knew he was rolling. His intention was to start rolling, and I could see that from here, but she didn't even glance over at that other runway. Just another bonus little situation. And again, this is not education for you. This is not instructor training. It's just some things that we're seeing that we want to share with you. Hopefully, if you're a new pilot or a student pilot, this will resonate with you and you remember that. If you're a senior pilot and you don't know some of these things we just talked about, hopefully you learned a little bit more, but go talk to your instructor, talk to other people, and just wanted to share those quick tips with you. Now, we got some really cool stuff coming up. We are going to be doing some more stuff with the local FSDO as well as with tower controls in here and have some more discussions on these things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it helped. Please go like and subscribe and comment and let us know you want to get more of these. Then we'll go ahead and film those for you. And don't forget, go check out our other video on which one's faster, the Cybertruck or the Game Bird. It's fun. We had a great day flying today. Like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.